First off, I'm not very comfortable talking on camera, but I am curious about one thing. I'm curious to know if anybody felt the same way I felt about Africa. I think my first intro to Africa was Tarzan. Tarzan was this Jesus-looking dude swinging through the jungle. He was able to talk to animals. His thing was oh. He he basically was that dude for me. By the end of the show, he would save all the humans, save all the animals, got the girl. So yeah, he was the man for me as a kid. And then through the 80s, I started seeing real images of Africa, mostly having to do with famine. See all these starving Africans on TV, and there were many movements to help raise money from the U.S. and around the world to support starving Africans. And then started seeing apartheid, all the crazy and violent images associated with that. Then AIDS, they was talking about AIDS coming from Africa. Then into the 90s, Rwanda, blood diamonds, war torn images. Basically, everything I saw about Africa was negative. Now, there were some things that I did on my own to kind of, use a little critical thinking and dismiss some of those things that I saw on TV. Like I read They Came Before Columbus. I knew about Lucy, one of the first humanoids that they discovered in Africa. And they basically determined that Africa was a place where civilization started. You learn about Egyptians, learning about Nubia. You know, every day. I'm pretty sure everybody knows Zamunda. That was probably one of the biggest um, positive images that we saw of Africa. Zamunda. You know what Zamunda is, I hope. Um, but as a place to visit, it never really got on my radar. I was still, I think, in the back of my mind, I was still thinking, yeah, Africa is not what I see on TV, but it's still, I don't know if I want to go there. But then as I grew older, in the 90s, I got more mature, um, learning more about Africa on my own, but I think still had some hesitation. I saw something in Ebony magazine that kind of turned a switch for me. I saw this article about I think it was Cape Town, and first thing I saw was these beautiful images of Africa, the beaches and all this scenery, and I was like, wow, that's in Africa. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's stupid, but I think a lot of people felt that way about Africa. They just see all these war-torn images and all these starving human beings trying to live life and whatever you want to call it, but you never really saw anything about it being beautiful. You never really seen anything about celebrating the culture. It wasn't really celebrated as some like a place in Europe. So I remember like, wow, I was being really surprised about that. Then Jamie Foxx came out with his show. He's like, Africa, Africa. He talked about how you many of us thought of Africa as one thing, but when he got there, it's like you'd be surprised. So I think that really planted the seed for me to really go there and check it out on my own. And that I think started the bucket list. That was about 14 years ago. Now, one thing about Africa that I realized I was doing, a lot of people do, was making Africa as this one place. One place. Africa is one big ass continent. It's got 54 countries, all different civilizations, different cultures. It's not one place the way a lot of us say it is. Like I used to do that. I used to think Africa was just one place. Europe is not one place. Europe got all these different countries. Africa is the same way. So that was one thing I had to stop. But I think from the time that I read that Ebony magazine and from the time I saw Jamie Foxx, I got curious and it basically eventually got into my bucket list to go to Africa to see for myself. Well, dag nabbit, 2018, I am happy to say the wife and I are finally going to Africa very soon. I'm very excited. Um, yes, it's a mix of emotions. I'm a little nervous because one of the things I'm going to be doing is driving over there. I've driven on the left side of the road before, but it's scary. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm excited at the same time. One of the things we're going to be doing is um, we're going to Cape Town, then we're going to be going through the Garden Route, then we're going to be flying over to, I think it's called Philibor, go to Kruger Park, we're going to do our safari. We're going to be there about 2.5 weeks. So if you're interested in checking out some of the videos and learning more about Africa, check out my video, excuse me, my YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that if you're interested. And yeah, we hope to we hope to post a bunch of videos so that you can see it for yourself. And then I plan on writing a blog about Africa and how to prepare for it. You know, some of the tips that I'll learn. I'm sure I'll learn a lot of stuff. So, yeah, peace.